Fox Sports.
We are Black Fork. We are Sun Force.
Johnny Damon has had a flair for the dramatic on the current homestand. Thursday night, Johnny's walk-off homer gave the Rays an extra inning win. Damon followed that up yesterday with his fifth game-winning RBI in a row. And today, the Rays look for the 4-game sweep over the Twins on Sun Sports. This afternoon, the homestand continues. It's another family fun day, a kid's Sunday, if you will, as the Rays look for the sweep, taking on the Minnesota Twins. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to an afternoon of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson. I'm Dwayne Stats. Great to have you with us. Todd Cowell is joining us throughout the afternoon as well. The Rays are looking for a 4-game sweep over this Minnesota ball club. They've won 5 in a row, thanks in large part to Johnny Damon. I have not seen you this excited in a long time, B.A., particularly when it comes to Johnny Damon.
I am excited, Dwayne. I know you know that. No, Johnny Damon, you know what's made it impressive is he's, game-winning RBI 5 straight games, but it's the manner in which he's done it. He wants to get the team and jumpstart him against Daisuke, which started this whole streak, and be aggressive. So the first fastball he sees, he hits it out of the ballpark. And then the other night, off Nick Blackburn, a guy who was wearing him out early in the game with the changeup, got him to pop up a couple of times. Well, he comes into a situation with a couple runners on base, gets deep into the count. Blackburn, he knows, he's going to come with that changeup again to try to get soft contact. What does he do? He takes a pitch back up the middle for the base hit. And then yesterday against Mijares, after, that was one of those pitches where when Mijares threw the fastball in off the plate to go to 1-2, you say to yourself, does he dare do it again? What's he going to go with here? Well, he comes back with the fastball in the second one. At that point, I said, now you know the slider away's coming. I think Johnny thought the same thing. He just reaches it out, pokes it into right field. So very smart hitting by Johnny Damon.
What you're saying, there's a method to the Damon madness.
That's it.
And boy, is it working. This afternoon on the hill for the Rays, Jeremy Hellickson, the rookie right-hander, 1-1 on the year, coming off an outing in which he walked 5, and that is not like him.
No, not at all. I mean, this is a guy who last year in the starts that he had with the Rays had 33 strikeouts, just 8 walks, and he's always had that very good ratio. So, that last game it's an interesting game for a young guy. He managed the game. He went 5 1/3, gave up a couple earned runs, but that was the Daisuke game where he was staked to a 7-run lead after 2 innings. So look for him to have much better command today.
So it'll be Jeremy Hellickson with a record of 5-1 in his career, 1-1 this year, and Brian Dunsing, 28-year-old lefty on the hill for the Minnesota Twins. Dunsing without a record this year, making his 3rd start, but 15-5 in his brief career so far with the Minnesota Twins. Rays have won 3 in dramatic fashion today. They go for the 4-game sweep. We'll have more on that when we return to Tropicana Field.
Sunday as the Rays and the Twins wrap up this 4-game series. Tampa Bay has won the first 3 games of this set, looking for the clean sweep, and they have won 5 games overall in a row. Rays, after that slow 1-8 start, now more respectable 6-8. They have a chance to be tied for second in the AL East at the end of the day with a win and a Jays and Orioles loss. It is a Kids Sunday, so as part of that, we give you a few different players' favorite cartoon characters growing up as youngsters.
Used to be Bobby's World. Used to come down, at the beginning on the stairs and ride his little tricycle down. Yeah, so I'd wake up every Saturday morning to watch Bobby's World.
My favorite Saturday morning cartoon, shoot, I forgot the name. Let's see. My favorite Saturday morning cartoon is Recess.
When I was a kid, it was with Tigger and Honey. God, I can't think of the name of the show now. Winnie the Pooh. There it is. Yeah, when I was a kid, Winnie the Pooh had me. I loved Tom and Jerry when I was little.
There you go, Jeremy Hellickson, a man of few words, but he is ready to pitch. We're going to go from Tom and Jerry to Dwayne and Brian with all the action. Under 3 minutes to go until the first pitch. Enjoy your Kids Sunday in high definition right here on Sunsport.
Afternoon is brought to you by AutoWay, part of Auto Nation, the largest automotive dealer in the country, so we can do big things. By AT&T and by Toyota, moving forward. Sunday afternoon of baseball from Tropicana Field. The Rays meet the Twins again, fresh off yesterday's 4-3 victory. The Rays had won the first 2 games in 10 innings here in Game 1 Thursday, 4-3, winning Friday night 5-2, and following up with yesterday's 4-3 victory. Take a look at the starting lineup for Ron Gardenhire's Minnesota Twins. Matt Tolbert will lead off. He'll play second base today, and Alexi Casillas at short. Jason Kubel hits third and right, and the DH is Jim Thome. Delman Young in left with Michael Kadire at first. The number 7 hitter, Danny Valencia. Steve Holm will do the catching. He'll hit 8th. And Jason Repko in center field batting 9th.
Right-hander Jeremy Hellickson makes the start this afternoon for the Rays. This will be his 3rd start in the season. even record. He won his last time out. Was a beneficiary of a big offensive outburst by the Rays. His first start last year, August the 2nd, 2010, was against this Minnesota ball club. He went 7 innings, giving up 2 earned runs to get his first major league win. Let's take a look at the Rays defense. Left to right in the outfield, Johnny Damon, B.J. Upton, and Ben Zobrist. Across the infield, third to first, Felipe Lopez, Elliot Johnson, Sean Rodriguez, and Dan Johnson. Kelly Shoppett gets the call behind the plate.
Joe Madden has his club 2 games under 500 now at 6-8, riding a 5-game winning string and winning 6 of their last 8. Ron Gardenhire on the flip side of that, the Twins have lost 6 out of 7. He's in with a record of 4-10 to start this year, and that's something that Gardenhire and the Twins over his tenure not used to. They do a lot of winning in Minnesota. They've been to the postseason 6 times in his 9 full years as the manager of the Twins.
And they've lost some games in some frustrating fashion. Late leads given up. They haven't been as strong defensively as they have in the past.
Yeah, and he's moved his closer, Joe Nathan, for at least the time being, will not be the closer, and Matt Capps has been designated as the guy to close. Nathan, as we mentioned the other nights, just a little over a year removed from Tommy John surgery, and the Rays have gotten to him in this series.
The ball just not coming out of his hand like we've used to seeing. That late life, that late jump on his fastball, just not there.
Set to play ball. Hellickson ready, and the first pitch of this game is a little bit outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Tolbert, switch hitting infielder, 3 of 13 in the early going this year, hitting .267. There's a strike, and it's a 1-1 count. Fastball. Hellickson gives you that fastball in the upper 80s, low 90s. Changes speeds well, outstanding changeup, and very good control. 1 hopper, backhanded by Rodriguez, sets himself and throws. That's a nice play by the second baseman, Sean Rodriguez, to get Tolbert.
Well, that ball looked like it was destined for center field. Matt Tolbert here taking advantage of a fastball that right down the middle, but Sean Rodriguez, nice 1 hop, and then the strong throw because Tolbert can run.
And you know the great thing about Rodriguez, watch him set himself with great lower body strength.
That's it.
And then a good arm.
And that's why he can, he can get himself into some athletic positions where he makes a play, has to go back on his heels, but he's got a strong enough arm to be able to throw it there. You see it when he comes across the infield, headed towards third base, and has to make that throw across his body. He does a nice job of clearing his hips, which will allow that arm to get through quicker and therefore to put more on the throw.
There's a strike, and the count 1-1 to Casilla. Pitch is low, 2-1. As we mentioned in the open, Hellickson coming off the outing in which he gave up 5 walks, which is unusual for him. And I think both clubs, the Red Sox and the Rays, came away from that game thinking that the strike zone was a little more tougher to find, let's say, than usual.
Hey, we talked about it. I think that, and you see that sometimes. No one, you'll never find it in a manual. No one will ever talk about it. It will always be denied. But when you're a young pitcher and you go into some of these bastions of baseball like Yankee Stadium or Fenway Park, I'm telling you, you get the wrong umpire behind home plate, and it's almost like, you know what, we're going to indoctrinate him into the game, and he's going to have to hit a postage stamp strike zone. and that's what you deal with. And borderline pitches you just do not get. And it can be difficult.
Oh, a ground ball to second, more routine for Rodriguez this time. Well, apparently, from our producer Kevin Patterson, not only do the umpires have that mindset, but apparently they've influenced Fox Tracks as well, is what he says.
Oh, it's a coin flip. It's a coin flip on whether Fox Tracks and I will get along on a given day.
Man versus technology right here, folks. Here's Jason Kubel. Kubel hitting third. He has swung a good bat during this stretch for the Twins, in which they're hitting only .234 overall this year. 1 ball, no strikes. In the debut Hellickson made against the Twins, Kubel did have 2 hits in that game. He was 2 for 3 with a home run. 1-1 to count. Two balls and a strike. And now he finds himself behind 3-1. On deck, Jim Thome. And ball 4 is down. So a first inning walk, a 2-out pass to Kubel. And that gets Thome up there.
You know, Kubel's swinging the bat well right now, but 2 outs, nobody on. You want to go after him. You want Jim Thome coming up to hit with nobody on base. Lead off an inning, fine. You start getting runners out there, especially runners that you yourself put out there as a pitcher, asking for trouble.
Thome with a home run this year, hitting a shade under 200. Pitch inside a bit. He was 0 for 3 against Hellickson with a couple strikeouts in Hellickson's previous appearances last year. Tap foul. The count is 1-1. Rays starting the day running 4th in the East. Yankees up by a 1.5 on the Blue Jays. The Orioles 2 back, and the Rays 2.5. The Red Sox 5 out. Minnesota's 6 out, running 5th in the AL Central. The Indians and the Royals start the day with identical records of 10-4, leading the AL Central. Nice change, and the count is 1-2. White Sox are 3 back, and the Tigers 3.5, and the Indians have an early 2-0 lead on Baltimore. Grady Sizemore was just activated. He's hit a home run.
Welcome back, Grady.
Yep, Carlos Santana's hit a home run as well. The Indians have gotten off to this start. Santana and Chu have not been a big part of their offense. It's come elsewhere.
And their pitching's been very good.
Thome is out on strikes. Had him out in front. No runs, a walk, a man left, a strikeout. We go to the bottom of the first. Minnesota nothing, and the Rays are coming in to hit. Up, put together by Joe Madden. Sam Fold will be the DH, followed by Johnny Damon and B.J. Upton, Felipe Lopez, Kelly Shoffick, and then Ben Zobrist down the middle. Sean Rodriguez, Stan Johnson, Elliott Johnson in there at short. He bats ninth.
Left-hander Brian Dunsing makes his third start of the season for the Twins. Still looking for his first win, no record.
And Sam Fold, the DH. And the pitch is a strike, and why shouldn't he be the DH? He has a higher slugging percentage than anybody in the house today. His slugging percentage is .568, and there's not a hitter here with a better one. And there's a base hit into right field. Fold with a base hit against the lefty, and Dunsing has been very tough against left-handed hitters. Makes no difference to Sam Fold. Base hit.
Now, Brian Dunsing, 162 average last year. That was the second lowest in Major League Baseball against lefties, but that was a mistake. And right now, a mistake to Sam Fold equals good things for the Rays.
Speed at first, and here's Johnny Damon. Damon bunts right side, fielded by Kadire. He gets the tag, and into second base goes Fold. So, good opportunity there, and Damon not only moving the runner but thinking about maybe a base hit.
Yeah, well, he was motoring up that line trying to avoid that tag, but yeah, that's what the Rays are going to have to do to score runs. They're not a team that you go through the middle of the lineup scared to death because of all the power that they have. They have to manufacture runs. That's why small ball right out of the gate.
There's B.J. Upton. B.J. with a man in scoring position, hitting .245 for the year. That's a strike. B.J. last year 1 out of 3 with a couple strikeouts against Dunsing. B.J. shoots it into right field. Kubel on the move. He'll make the catch. Gold tags on his way to third. So the Rays have a man at third with 2 gone.
Well, let's take a look at that Twins defense before this first inning passes us by. Left to right in the outfield, Delman Young, Jason Repko, and Jason Kubel. Across the infield, third to first, Danny Valencia, Alexi Casilla, Matt Tolbert, and Waldo Kadire. Steve Holm behind the plate.
Well, the Rays with a man at third. Let's see what Felipe Lopez can do. Pitch outside, 1-0. Cut the miss. Fastball. His fastball, that one 89. He'll hit 91 at times. One ball, one strike. A ball, 2 strikes. Take a look at this one. Pretty good pitch.
Real good curveball here. Back door. Late downward action gets Felipe Lopez to swing right over the top of it.
Ooh, strike 3 call. That fastball on the heels of the curveball, and Lopez is caught looking. Rays leave a man at third. No score through 1. Our Toyota inside look as Jeremy Hellickson made his debut last year against the Twins on the second day of August and came away with a 4-2 win. Gave up 2 runs on just 3 hits, walked 2 and struck out 6 in 7 innings. Jason Kubel hit a breaking ball for a home run in that game, and that was about the only offense that he surrendered.
And for the next couple of starts, he went 3 straight starts of giving up just 3 hits in each. Really a tremendous stretch there.
Delman Young taking a pitch inside. Yeah, he wound up with that start against the Twins and then 7 shutout innings against the Detroit Tigers. And then 1 run on 3 hits and 6 innings against the Orioles.
Really showed how, he was a pitcher. I remember that start against the Tigers. I think he was at 50% or maybe even a little bit less than 50% with the fastball. Tons of off speed that game. Not typical for a young pitcher to come up and trust his off speed stuff that much during the course of a game. But that showed you right there that he knows what he's doing out there.
2-1 to count to Delman Young, who had just 1 walk coming into this series, but has drawn at least a walk a game. Out in front right there. The count is 2-2.
And there is that changeup. That's what makes Jeremy Hellickson so dangerous. That 2-1 count, he can flip that changeup in there and get those big swings and misses.
And he pops him up. He had Young reaching. Sean Rodriguez makes the catch.
When you look at Jeremy Hellickson's numbers and get inside him a little bit, this is a guy who, after he gets a 1-0 count where he falls behind, the batting average against him is 190. Anything after that, when he falls behind 2-0, anything after that, that's a bad count to be in.
Sure.
The hitter's hitting just 222.
But if you got a great changeup,
that's it.
You don't mind being in that count.
Yep, there are certain hitters where, and that was my pitch. I had no breaking ball to speak of that was any good. It was a show pitch, but my changeup was good. And there were certain hitters that I'd throw, a first pitch fastball, and it would be a ball. They'd take it for a ball, and I would think to myself, now I got him right where I want him. Because I know he's aggressive. He's got 1-0 count. He's not looking breaking ball. How about this little changeup and get yourself a pop-up?
Here's Hellickson behind Kadire. Waldo Kadire, I think. 2-0. And he throws him a strike. 2 balls and a strike.
I only went with Waldo because you just never know where he's going to play.
Yep, that's
so
right.
it was a where's Waldo moment.
Sure. Outfield, couple of spots on the infield, the second base the other day. First base in this game. And that's going to catch the corner. And the count is square. 2-2. No first pitch strikes yet for Hellickson. And as you point out, that's not as alarming as it is with the conventional type pitcher. Comes back to get Kadire. How about that? Change up. So down in the count 2-0. Hellickson comes right back and strikes him out on the change.
Well, this is a very good pitch here, the early going for Hellickson. That ball is center cut, middle of the plate, just above the knees. It kind of bottoms out a little bit. It doesn't have the same kind of action as James Shields' changeup, but just as effective. That really sells it with the good arm action, and that ball just kind of hits a wall about halfway to home plate.
Valencia. And a foul ball right back into the mitt of Shopping. You can see Kadire on that 2-2 pitch, how big their eyes get, because the hitter thinks, I've got something here I can really cut loose on.
Yeah.
And cut loose is about all they wind up doing because that ball suddenly puts on the brakes.
Yeah, that's the kind of pitch that you can throw in that kind of a situation, and a hitter will strain the old oblique.
Yep.
Blow out a lat muscle.
Well, he had Young way out in front, and he had Kadire just ready to zero in on a pitch he thought he could drive, and was out in front and missed
When he throws that changeup, he keeps the same arm action, which is the most important thing when you're throwing off speed, especially the changeup. And he has that tight four-seam spin on his changeup. So a hitter sees that tight spin, recognizes it's straight, good arm action, got to be fastball, right?
Fly ball headed toward left center. Upton is there and makes the catch to retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Twins. Strikeout of Kadire in the inning. No score through an inning and a half. Open the bottom of the second for the Rays against the lefty Brian Dunsing. Rays left a man at third in the first. And here's Shopping. Dunsing starts him with that pitch away. Kelly Shopping, the home run in the 7th inning here Friday night.
A no-doubter.
Sounded great. Looked even better. Fouls it away. It's 1-1. Now Dunsing is all business out there and throws a lot of strikes.
You know, he didn't have enough innings to qualify last year, Dwayne, but his pitches per inning would have ranked 4th least in all of baseball, behind guys like Cliff Lee, Carl Pavano, Roy Halladay. He does a good job of getting out there, throwing a lot of strikes, attacking hitters.
Yeah, a lot of low pitch counts.
Yeah, low pitch counts, tons of ground balls. Got one of the higher ground ball percentage rates that you'll see. Does a good job of using his infield and letting the defense work.
He's ahead of Shopping 1-2. And he's out on strikes, 1 away. Let's check in here with Todd Callis. Todd?
Dwayne, good sign yesterday, and a good thing to see J.P. Howe back at Tropicana Field on a mound. There he was warming up, and then live batting practice yesterday before the Rays contest against Minnesota. There you see he would throw 34 pitches. J.P.'s last live BP came down at Port Charlotte. He felt good. His next time will be Tuesday, where he throws more live BP. And there you see Evan Longoria. Still no swings yet, just some light workouts, continuing to keep the legs fresh. And J.P. Howe continues to move forward. To say he's eager to come back, guys, would be an understatement.
Yeah, and we're hoping to get a chance to chat with him later in the week. I guess he's going to throw Tuesday, so we might get a day after report right from J.P. on Wednesday. We're hoping to have him stop by the booth. 0-1, and Zobrist pops it up. Which came in on him. And And that's Kadire at first, handling that. 2 up, 2 down. So we'll wait and see. And to the betterment of JP and to the credit of the organization, they have not rushed him at all. They understand the wisdom in taking their time and making sure that he is as good as he can be physically.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't want to rush back. I mean, that was something that I did. I came back from my first Tommy John surgery.
Sean Rodriguez looping it foul.
I was, coming into a situation where I really felt that I needed to get out on the field the next year. And so I had the Tommy John surgery in July of 2005 and was pitching in a game 10 and a half months later.
Yeah.
And, going at it full bore. Well,
sure. Too soon.
Well, yeah. I mean, I had the surgery again July of 2006.
Yeah. Pitch is outside to Sean Rodriguez. Well, we talked about the flip-flop for the Twins in their closers row. Here's Nathan. He's just really just days over a year removed from Tommy John surgery. And it's difficult, to come back that quickly and have. Now, he's obviously back pitching, and he's pitching in a lot of ways better than most. He's had a little tough time here, but he's not yet where he was before the injury.
No, he doesn't have the Joe Nathan stuff. Yeah, of pre-Tommy John. There's not that bite on the slider, and there's not that extra jump on the fastball that you're used to seeing. And he was the guy that would run that, that four-seam fastball just about anywhere he wanted in the zone, and he could jump it up over your bat. I mean, just get it over. Now, guys are taking good swings on him, making good contact, and that slider doesn't have the same darting action.
There's ball 3 to Sean Rodriguez, full count.
It's just about building, the arm strength and continuing to pitch and continuing to put time in between surgery date and wherever he's going to finally get back to having his max stuff. And they say a lot of times it's at least 18 months and working up from there.
Yep. Well, the Twins were pretty smart in that they had added caps in his absence last year, and they have an alternative in the closing situation, full well expecting that Nathan will be back at some point in the near future, full force. There's a well-hit ball into center field, and on the run is Repko, and makes a fine catch. Repko can really go get the ball. He can run the bases, too. A great guy to have as an extra outfielder, and here's an example of that to retire the side. We're scoreless through 2. Game of this series. You can get in on the action with exclusive on-seal seating in the Papa John's bullpen box. Available dates are filling up fast, Act now to make your private group reservation right behind the Rays bullpen by calling 888-FAN-RAYS or going online at raysbaseball.com. That's a great spot to be, a superb vantage point and right down by the bullpen. And there you see Bobby Ramos, Scott Kersey, the enforcer, those two guys down there. If you make friends with those guys, you can go anywhere you want with complete confidence that you'll be safe. As soon as Bobby finishes manicuring his fingernails.
The big tough guy.
Yeah. He's very meticulous about everything he does. The pitch is low to the Minnesota catcher, Steve Holm. We're underway here in the third. But you can see Scott Kersey was standing guard while Bobby Ramos' attention was riveted on his fingernails. So there is always the thought of safety down there between one of those two guys. The 2-0 pitch is popped up. Rodriguez is there, and Sean puts it away. One out in the third.
Now batting center fielder number 18.
Hellickson at times, he's so calm and collected out there. He needs a fishing pole in his hand somewhere.
Yeah, he looked thrilled with that pop up to second base, didn't he? Well, you know what? I think that actually works in his favor. We talked about how effective he can still be when falling behind in the count, and that plays right in.
Sure does.
You know, to.
Yeah, the hitters are going, all right, make the pitch already.
Right.
Yeah, he's pretty calm out there. Here's Repko, Jason Repko, and the first pitch is a fastball in there for a strike. Repko made that great running catch on the ball hit by Sean Rodriguez. This one is down 1-1, and here's a very good extra outfielder for a club to have. He can run, and as we saw, a good defender. He's got some occasional pop in the bat. 2-1.
When you're not out there every day, sometimes it can be tough to get into the flow of a game. You know, out in center field, obviously a very important position, and that catch he made that you referenced, Dwayne, I mean, that's a tough catch to make because he had to run a long way, of course, but he didn't reach out and catch that ball at arm's length. He caught that ball down. You know, and when you run that far and catch a ball down by your shins, by your ankles, and you have it dove for it, that's tremendous hand-eye coordination to do that.
And a popper short right center. It's been Zobrist in for it. He'd had a couple of injury challenges in his career. Missed one full year. He had a severe hamstring problem and had to reattach tendons in there. Had surgery for that. Was in the Dodgers system for a long time and played some time with the Dodgers. 2 gone. There's Matt Tolbert. Pitch is low to the switch hitting infielder. Tolbert playing second base.
Yeah, we saw Jeremy Hellickson's reaction to that pop up earlier this inning. You kind of wonder.
Pop foul. Shopik after it. He's going to have room and makes the catch. We'll wonder another at least for until the bottom of the third. Yeah.
Right.
No score as we go to the home half of inning 3.
we are honored to talk with and his wife Priscilla about a very special race coming up, guys, May 14th at University of South Florida. Miles for Moffitt. Tell us a little bit about that.
Miles for Moffitt is the brainstorm of Karen Dalton and some of her survivor friends, and this is going to be our 6th year. We are expecting 6,000 people out this year. We had 5,000 last year. And we, in the 5 years, we've given Moffitt Research $555,000, and we're going to up it to $755,000. And fighting cancer is a team sport, and without the Rays, we couldn't do it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. $755,000, that's remarkable. And you know what the people at Moffitt can do, how special that group is.
Well, it is a very special group. I suspect that there are many people at the game today who have experienced cancer. The reality of having a world-class cancer center in your home community, in your backyard. Hold it, folks.
Dan Johnson deep to center field, but it was caught by Repka.
But what a difference it makes in people's lives. Before Lee Moffitt came up with the idea of building this center, loved ones had to travel to other states, had to travel thousands of miles to get care. Now it's right here in Florida, providing cutting-edge research and care for the people of the state of Florida.
And I know how important this whole program is for you both. You've been so heavily involved.
Yes, we're both cancer survivors, and it's a labor of love to hopefully try to find a cure. And the other thing is to help other people go through it. It's a very difficult thing, having cancer, for the family as well as the person who has it. And we're blessed to be survivors, and we love to just gather more survivors. Come out on race day. We highlight the survivors, and we'd love to have everybody come.
Miles for Moffitt, guys. It'll be May 14th at University of South Florida. You can see more information coming up right here, as it is just a great event for a great cause. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Guys, back to you.
All right, Todd, thank you very much. And a great event, absolutely. Ray's happy to be involved in that. One out here in the bottom of the third. Elliott Johnson is ahead in the count. 3-1. Dunsing wasting a little time. And a shot toward the gap, deep into left center field. That ball will bound off the bottom of the wall. Karam to Repko, but Elliott Johnson is in with a stand-up double. Well, Johnson teed off on a 3-1 pitch. That really looked like a tee shot.
Yeah, it did. Brian Dunsing, it's our checkers double of the game, was just out of rhythm that entire at-bat, falling behind, the ball spraying off the plate. Well, he comes in with a 3-1 fastball here, and Elliott Johnson, look at that swing. And off to the races. So typical of Rays hitters, out of the box quick, into second base with a double.
So the Rays have their second scoring opportunity of the afternoon. Here's Sam Fuld. He singled to open the Rays offense in the first inning. Advanced to third and was left on base. Breaking ball, he takes low and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Dunsing, 28 years old, out of the University of Nebraska. And a base hit into right will fall in front of Kubel. Johnson will stop at third base. Not deep enough to give the Rays a chance to score Johnson. Fuld is now 2 for 2 off this tough left-hander.
Dunsing trying to come in with the fastball. He gets it in, not quite in enough. Sam Fuld gets just enough of it. Kind of hit a soft serve out into right field. Kubel up throwing. Good read by Elliott Johnson.
He wasn't sure if that ball would carry or not. We had a much better vantage point than he did coming off second base.
You got to pause there for a minute. You do not want to get doubled off, obviously, in that situation. When you see it down, you race.
Johnny Damon puts down the bunt. That ball hit his hand as well. Let's hope he's all right as he drops the bat. Well, he has been such a big part of the Rays' success here this last week plus. He tried to bunt it, hit his hand at the same time, and then hit him while he was in the batter's box. A foul ball.
Well, anytime that ball right here, you see the fastball coming in. His hand, the left hand up the shaft of the bat. And that hand's up against the wood, so when that ball hits any part of the hand, it just smashes it right into the bat. There's no give there. And that will smart.
Well, he has given the Rays, as we discussed in the open, 5 game-winning hits already. And he appears to be all right, and that's good news, at least for the time being. Ron Porterfield, the Rays head trainer, making sure that he was all right. And now that the eagle eye of Ron Porterfield will keep a close look on Damon in that left hand. First and third. Rays trying to take the lead in this scoreless game. And there's a ground ball up the middle and a base hit. Johnson scores over to third. Fold, and he's going to be out there. Sam tries to advance to third on the RBI single. Well, Damon drives in the go-ahead run to make it 1-0. And Fold cut down at third for the second out.
Well, you know, Johnny Damon knows when to swing hard and when to just take a pitch right back up the middle. He just shoots that ball up the middle, and Sam Fold, aggressive nature of the Rays, trying to get to third base, gets hosed out by Repko. And that's the way the Rays are going to do it. They're going to push the envelope. Sam Fold's trying to get over to third base there. Less than 2 outs. Davey Martinez having a little chat with him.
Here's Upton. So Johnny Damon comes through again with mid in scoring position. Repko showing a good arm out there in center field. He made that great running catch on Rodriguez. Damon back in. Upstairs to BJ, a fastball. Two outs, a 1-0 count. And pops one out of play. A ball and a strike. Dunsing has outings against the Yankees and the Royals this year. 7 innings in New York against the Yankees, a no decision. He left with the game tied 4-4. And then 6 innings at home against Kansas City and left the game tied 3-3. 2-1 to BJ. The Twins wound up winning both of his starts, but he did not figure in the decision. It's the last outing, just over 100 pitches in 6 innings. That's a strike to Upton. The count squares at 2-2. So 3 straight hits for the Rays. They have a run. Lost a base runner trying to go to third. Damon's at first base, 2 outs. This is the first time the Rays have scored first in a game here at Tropicana Field this year, with a run here in the 3rd. They did it twice on the road. Broken bat, looping fly ball left center field for a base hit. Repko up with it. Over to 3rd goes Damon. So Upton drops one in there. The Rays pick up hit number 5.
Well, BJ gets jammed on this. Fastball in right on his hands. Let's see where this ball comes in. Jam, pop up, but take advantage. Get that ball out over the shortstop's head. Repko, who was shading into right field a little bit with 2 strikes, had to run a long way. Delman Young not able to get there.
So the Twins talk it over with Rick Anderson, their pitching coach out there. Reminder in the game today, and all season long, Tires Plus donates $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports and Fox Sports Florida. By the way, that base hit for Damon, he came into the game tied with Ernie Banks on the all-time hit list. And that base hit is 2,584 hits. That moves him up and ties him with Reggie Jackson on the all-time hit list. Take a look at that now, where Johnny ranks 79th, moving ahead of Ernie Banks and catching Reggie Jackson. Here's Felipe Lopez. Toss to first, and BJ is back in. Well, 4 hits in the inning so far, just a run. And Upton drawing the attention of Dunsing. Dunsing made 13 starts last year and 40 appearances out of the bullpen. Overall, he went 10-3. Pitch up.
He moved into the rotation late July in Baltimore was his first start. He went 7-2 as a starter with an ERA just over 3. Had a start against the Rays. Sean Rodriguez got him for a 3-run home.
There's a strike, and it's 1-1. Yeah, he replaced Nick Blackburn in the rotation. To the Rays beat here on Friday night. It's up and in.
That'll get your attention.
At 90, a fastball.
The time that gets up near the shoulders of the head hitter, you see Felipe yanking that head out of there.
Two 1, and he fouls it right back. Oh, it's a challenge for that hitter to stay right in there on a following pitch. Talking about that with Bert Blyleven the other day. He wasn't afraid to pitch in, and he said Don Drysdale said it's not the first one, it's the second one. He goes, you gotta back it up.
Yeah.
And do it twice.
Yeah.
And he said the second one, the hitter really gets the idea.
Double up on that. You're absolutely right.
Over to first. BJ again drawing Dunsing's attention.
That's one of those, if there was any doubt after the first one, I'm going to clear it up for you right here.
Yeah. So I will come in.
Right.
Part of the plate belongs to me. You can have only a portion of it. Again over to first. Elliott Johnson has scored the run. Dan Johnson hit a fly ball to deep center to start this inning. Bold was thrown out at third base for the second out. 2-2 to Lopez. A swing and a miss. And boy, did he have Lopez out in front of that changeup. Rays settle for a run at the end of 3. 1-0 Tampa Bay. And of course, yesterday, Evan Longoria awarded his second Gold Glove in pregame ceremonies. And that will lead us right into our AT&T trivia question. Just 24 years old. In the last 20 years, he was the only other infielder to win 2 Gold Gloves by the age of 24. Evan Longoria and one other. Alexi Casilla. Casilla hitting second, playing shortstop. Off-speed pitch is high. 1 ball, no strikes. Casilla has hit down in the order. In fact, he's been in the 9th spot all year. This is his 12th start, and he's today up in the number 2 spot. 1-1 to count. Came into the game hitting 179. It's a little bit outside 2-1, and the Twins have thought for a while that here's a young man who at least has the potential to play every day in the middle of the infield.
He definitely has the tools. It's a matter of putting it together, being consistent with your approach, with your work ethic, bringing the same intensity, the same effort every single day.
And that's one of the things the Twins have demanded throughout really the history of their franchise. Going back to when they made the move from Washington to the Twin Cities.
A good fastball there by Jeremy, right on the inside corner, does not get the call.
Count is full. Swing and a miss. He was out on strikes. Hellickson got him with a fastball.
I think he struck him out twice. That 2-2 fastball looked good. Go right back out away. Climb it up the top of the zone. Casilla comes up empty on the swing. And Jeremy Hellickson still does not look enthused at all.
Jason Kubel. The pitch is a strike. Well, you referenced that earlier, not thinking that he was altogether pleased with what he has been doing out there, but he's the kind of pitcher, because he changes speeds. Location is important to every pitcher. Fly ball back into left. Damon's going to go to the track, and that's going to carry out of here. So Kubel, who had a home run off Hellickson in Minnesota last year in Jeremy's big league debut, hits one out the other way, a home run to the opposite field to tie this game.
Yeah, up to this point, Jeremy Hellickson has had very good results without having the best command of the strike zone. This is a fastball away. You know, early in the count, you feel like it's safe, but Jason Kubel, very strong, and he drove that to left field. Not easy. You see left-handed hitters like Jim Thome, you know, they've got that power to left center. But to be able to drive that ball out to left field, that takes a patient approach. You got to see that ball a long way, wait on it, and then really explode into it. And that's exactly what he did. Tie this game up.
Ground ball right side. It's going to be handled by Dan Johnson for the second out. Well, that pitch, and you're right, you know, you think, well, it's a pitch away, a fastball away. Maybe could have been down a little more.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that you might adjust on that, but you've got to give Kubel credit for hitting the ball that far to the opposite field.
That's right. I mean, you're going away from a hitter. You'd love to have it at the knees every single time. But his command within the strike zone has not been, you know, what you're used to seeing from him. And that pitch just a little bit elevated, lets a strong man drive it.
Delman Young sends a fly ball to left, and that one caught by Damon to retire the side. A run, one hit, nobody left. Bottom of the fourth coming. We're tied 1-1. What would you like to do if you had superpower, BA?
I don't know, Dwayne. That's a good question.
Well, think about that.
Yeah.
You would have to take the answer to that seriously, because you're talking about a real game changer there.
Yeah, right.
Well, this game is tied 1-1 as we go to the bottom of the fourth. Kelly Shopik. He demonstrated some superpower here the other night. Takes this one away. Shopik, Zobrist, and then Rodriguez due up. Boston has taken a 4-1 lead on Toronto in the bottom of the third at Fenway. Jesse Litch pitching for the Blue Jays. He's the former Rays bat boy and intern. There's a big swing and a miss. It's 1-1. Jacoby Ellsbury hit a home run. Carl Crawford back in the lineup today for the Red Sox, 0 for 2. It's a wave and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Terry Francona gave him a rest yesterday. Carlos hitting in the 130s. A ball, 2 strikes, the count to Shopping. It's going to be foul the other way, out of play.
Well, we saw Carl that brief 2-game set up in Boston. You know, his approach at the plate. You know, just no aggression in his swing. You know, diving out after balls that he normally doesn't swing at, not showing a whole lot of discipline. Obviously, off to a slow start, and then you compound that problem with trying to do too much, try to get all those hits back at once.
And he started to hear a few boos at Fenway. Well, pressing is the last thing you want to do, but the easiest thing to do in that situation. Ground ball to third. Valencia makes the throw to first. So that's out number 1 in the 4th inning, and we'll get the answer to our trivia question with Evan Longoria receiving his 2nd Gold Glove. Besides Evan, who in the last 20 years is the only other infielder to win 2 Gold Gloves by the age of 24. How about Eric Chavez? In 01 and 02. Chavez has, what, 6, I think? 6 Gold Gloves. Evan now with a couple. There's Ben Zobrist. Pitch is a strike. One ball, 1 strike.
Well, that's a pitch from Dunsing that we haven't seen a whole lot of now coming through the lineup for the 2nd time. Ben Zobrist, a good fastball hitter. Slider is the breaking ball off a fastball.
2-1. You know, we're talking about Tommy John surgery earlier. Dunsing's a guy who had Tommy John surgery when he was in college. It's now 3-1. Well, you think about the pitchers who, without the development of Tommy John surgery, who just wouldn't be pitching at all. There's ball 4. And there are a lot of them. I mean, it seems that on every staff, there are 2 or 3, maybe 4 guys who had it.
Yeah, it's that surgery. It's amazing what they can do. Take a tendon out of it, you know, somewhere else in your body. I mean, they took one out of my left wrist for my first surgery, and when that didn't go so well, they ended up going into my the front of my right knee, a scar up the knee, and reached around and pulled out a hamstring tendon.
Wow.
And I mean, when I say they yanked it out, they yanked it out. I didn't know what I had surgery on, my knee, hamstring, or my elbow. I mean, that was something else, but they yanked that thing out and drill those holes and go to work.
1-0. Well, I remember reading an account of Tommy John when he had that surgery. Of course, when he went in, obviously the first time it had ever been done, really. And they didn't know if they were going to have to transplant or not. And when they got in there, they said it was shredded, that there was nothing really to tie off in there.
Yeah.
They had to, but Dr. Joe told them that they would take it from his right arm if they indeed had to do that. He woke up and saw that his right arm was bandaged, and so he knew that it was bad enough that they had to, for the first time ever, do the transplant. And he said in all the time that he threw after that his arm never hurt. How about that?
Incredible.
I mean, took him a while to get back, but it just it was a total success. And of course been refined since then. Shot back into right center field. That's well hit. Will one-hop the wall. Zobrist hitting third. Foley will wave him around, and the throw to the plate is not in time. Into third base goes Rodriguez, and the Rays lead 2-1. Sean Rodriguez who was perhaps robbed of an extra base hit by Repko back in the second inning. Hit this one in between Repko and Kubel into right center, and the Rays take the lead.
He sees the ball well off Dunsing, especially when it's left out over the plate. He drives the ball with authority out into right center, and Jason Kubel right there taking that extra little crow hop to throw the ball in gives Ben Zobrist just enough time to sneak in the back door. Score the Rays' second run.
Second triple of the year for Sean Rodriguez. And with the score 2-1 here in the fourth, the Twins bring up the infield. Dan Johnson, the hitter. And that's a strike. Looking for some good contact of one kind or another here.
That's it. Just hit the ball solidly. Fly ball. You hit it hard on the ground, you got a good chance to squeeze it through.
And a bounding ball foul. 2 strikes. Dan Johnson hit a fly ball to center in the third. How about this? 079 against righties and 444 against lefties.
Yeah, you don't see that very often or ever.
And the curveball moves outside 1-2.
Dunsing obviously here going for the strikeout. Got that count up to 0-2. He's going to take a couple of pitches off the plate here.
Oh, did he go? Yes, he did. That's a strike, says Jeff Kellogg. So Dunsing gets exactly what he needed right there.
Yeah, and he got lucky because that's a 1-2 fastball that he wanted in. Watch this thing come right down the middle. It surprised Dan Johnson.
So Johnson tried to hold up. You could see the bat went across the plate.
Well, that was right at the bottom of the strike zone. I think that wasn't a question of whether that ball's over the plate, but Dan Johnson's thinking that ball's a little bit too low.
Well, here's Elliott Johnson fouling the first pitch, so a big strikeout for Dunsing. Zobrist has scored. Rodriguez at third.
It's another one of those situations where the Rays, in their situational hitting, need to get that runner in. I mean, less than 2 outs, a runner at third base. Saw a couple times in yesterday's ball game that they had opportunities. First and third, nobody out a couple of times and came away empty. And those are the things that this Rays offense, they're going to have to be very proficient at doing the little things, because they're not going to be able to sit back and on a regular basis pound out home runs and win slugfest. They're going to have to manufacture runs, do the little things in order to be successful. And when you get Sean Rodriguez over third base with 1 out, you got to be able to get him in. You've got to be able to do that a lot more times than not.
You like the idea of a guy in that situation choking up because you're looking for contact. You're not necessarily looking for the home run down on the end of the bat.
Well, I'll give him the first couple.
Yeah.
You know, I'll give him the first couple, take a couple of rips, but boy, with 2 strikes, you know, and I know that was a borderline pitch, and he, you know, but you've got to swing at those with 2 strikes. 1-2 count. If it's close, you know, you've got to go, and that's nothing against Dan Johnson, but as far as situational hitting, I mean, you just, the Rays are going to have to do that, because you go down and you start looking through that lineup and you're like, well, this doesn't have a couple of 25, 30 home run guys in it.
Yep, Johnson walks. So he'll head to first. First and third with a run home, 2 outs. And here's Super Sam. Sam Full due up. He's got 2 hits today. 2 for 2. His average up to 370 now. Well, Rodriguez at third and Johnson at first. And with Fold up there, anything could happen. We've seen extra base hits, He can bunt. And he pops it up short. Stop is there, and Casilla makes the catch. That retires the side. Rays settled for 1 run, and Zobrist scored on the triple by Sean Rodriguez. 2 men left on base through 4, 2-1 Rays.
Kids Sunday here at Tropicana Field, which means kids are enjoying the action, and also a lot of Little League teams, guys, out here in left center field. We've got all this group from Skyway. This group's from Bayshore. We've got Interbay Little League over here. A lot of these kids are wearing the sleeves, too. I think you're going to see a lot of, I like the broom. Good broom right there. Over here, we've got Skyway, more Skyway. This is the Interbay's Little League, and then down here we even have a softball team, Northside Softball. Those sleeves are going to be all over Little League fields. A David Price giveaway today, all over Little League fields throughout the Tampa Bay area this summer. Back to you, Dwayne.
And listen to the excitement with Todd Callis walking through that part of the ballpark. Fans and youngsters from all over the area. Here's Kadire shooting a liner into center off the glove of Upton. It'll roll to the wall, and Kadire will stop at second base. BJ trying to cut it off, trying to play the angle, and just managed on a backhand attempt to get a piece of the glove on it. That'll go as a double for Kadire.
You know, we saw that in the ball game yesterday. Him take that straight across angle on a ball, and it got by him. Kadire right here takes advantage. Again, not very good location by Jeremy Hellickson. And BJ, you don't see too many balls that are able to get squeezed by him, but that one off the end of the glove. Kadire's into second base.
Kadire's second extra base hit of the year, both doubles. And there's Matt Joyce. He has taken over for Damon in left field. So that left hand, a problem for Damon at this point in the 5th inning. Johnny stayed on long enough to drive in a run. Curveball is in there for a strike to start the third baseman, Danny Valencia. Jeremy Hellickson hooked up against Brian Dunsing. And a popper. It's Lopez at third. One away. That'll be Steve Holm, the catcher. He was recalled from Rochester of the International League with Joe Mauer going on the disabled list. Holm had seen some playing time with the San Francisco Giants in 08 and 09. He was originally drafted by the Giants in 2001 out of Oral Roberts University. And he shoots a base hit into center field. Upton with the pickup. Kadyr's going to hold on, and now into second base. Holm goes into second safely.
Well, he was able to take advantage of that overthrow by BJ. BJ's making this throw as if he's going to try to cut the runner off at the plate. Another ball not located. Holm right back up the middle hard. They hold up Kadir, but BJ, you see him airmail the throw over everybody's head. Can't be cut. That allows Holm to move up to second base.
So now here's a major threat by Minnesota. Second and third, one out. Jason Repko in the batter's box.
And you see right there, too, Hellickson trying to throw a changeup, wants that pitch middle away and down, and it's kind of fading back in. We've seen that all game long.
Yeah, Hellickson, it's not unusual to see him have a little cut action on that changeup. But that one came back the other way.
And completely missed the location. He has been wild within the strike zone. And I think that's why you saw, especially early in the game, how frustrated he was even when he was getting outs, because he realizes, look, if I keep missing my spots, they're eventually going to hurt me. You just cannot keep throwing the ball not where you want it and expect to have good results for an entire game.
This would pop foul, a fastball in on him.
And he's not the kind of pitcher that can rear back at 95 miles an hour and if I miss my spot, I can still beat you with velocity. Very important for Jeremy Hellickson to have good command. His fastball doesn't have a ton of movement, but he's usually good at placing it around. He's got the good changeup, of course, and the breaking balls, but it all starts with command, and that has not been there for him today.
1-1 to count. Too low, covered up by Shopik. Curveball, and it's a 2-1 count. Missed with that one. 3-1.
And I'll tell you what Hellickson has done today is that he's used the change of speed to buy himself time to try to find the command. There's the changeup down and away. Foxtrot headed a strike. We've seen him call down there. That was the same Dan Johnson, about the same height on the ball that he got rung up on.
And a little popper into short center. That's going to fall for a base hit. Kadir will score. Throw comes into second as Holm goes to third, and Repko looping one into shallow center. That ties the game at 2.
He got just enough of it. Put it right out in no man's land. You see again, Shopik wants that ball away. It's a changeup, fades back in, middle in, actually jams Repko, but nobody playing there.
So 3 hits and a run home in the 5th inning with 1 out. Then we'll go to the top side of the order. Matt Tolbert.
You saw that strike ball breakout right there. The 37 strikes, 26 balls, but out of those 37 strikes, half, maybe more, 20, have not been quality strikes. They've been strikes in the strike zone, but they have not been the kind of strikes that you're used to seeing out of Jeremy Hellickson.
Infield hoping to get a double play opportunity here with men at first and third and 1 out. Tolbert fouls it back. Tolbert retired to start the game on a very good play by Sean Rodriguez at second. He fouled out to Shopik in the third. Repko at first, Holm at third. Repko driving in his first run of the year with that looper in the shallow center field. Runner takes off, pitches a ball to throw, will skip through and go into center field. Holm will score and Repko goes to third base. Boy, somehow that ball's got to be kept in the infield. So the stolen base turns into an additional run for Minnesota, and the Twins lead 3-2.
Well, this is not something the Minnesota Twins have been doing a whole lot of this year, running. But this is why when you run, you put pressure on the defense. Kelly Shoppach comes up a little short on the throw. But you're right, Dwayne. This ball's got to be kept in the infield. You cannot let it get by two players. Elliott Johnson, tough play here, but you got to at least knock it down. He whiffs on it. It squirts by Rodriguez. Let's pick up another run.
That's a strike, and it's 1-2. So Repko picks up the steal and goes to third base as the run scores, all on the error charged to Shoppach. But somebody in the middle of the infield's got to knock that ball down. 2-2 now. 3-2 ball game. 2-2 to Tolbert. And he hits a little fly ball short right. Zobrist coming and he cannot get there. Repko scores. Tolbert around second, and a good relay should get him at third, but it's wide, and he's safely in. Rays had a shot at Tolbert at third base, but he gets in there, and the Twins take a 2-run lead.
They had him dead at third. Matt Tolbert just bloops his ball out to right, just under the glove of Ben Zobrist. This ball, boy, inch or two, gets by him, but Matt Tolbert is going. He is freewheeling it all the way to third, and Sean Rodriguez a little up and away on the throw, and he's able to slide in safely. But once again, aggressive on the base pass, force the defense to make a play, add the element of pressure. Rays have come up empty the last couple of tries.
So it's 4-2. The infield must stay in with a man at third. And here's Alexi Casilla. Casilla 0 for 2. And the Rays looking for some action, nothing doing on that little pitch up and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Well, right there, the last couple runs, good examples of how good defense helps your pitching. And if there's a lapse, no error on the last play, but it should have been made.
Yeah,
well, they had it out at third base.
They did. Ben Zobrist came up throwing. Tolbert was just at second.
Hot shot, great pickup at first by Dan Johnson on the drawn-in infield. He takes care of that as Tolbert stays at third, and there was an outstanding defensive play up close at first base.
Yeah, you have got to anticipate the ball being hit to you when you play in like that. Every pitch, because if they hit it hard, almost knocks it right out of the screen. You see, not a whole lot of time to react. Good play.
Yeah, and when you come close to hitting the ball out of the screen, you've hit it hard.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and you pull the infield in, you don't have a whole lot of time to think. It's just a quick reaction.
So Jim Hickey to the mound to talk it over with his battery and the entire infield, with Jason Kubel due up.
And this is a guy that's given him problems.
Well, he homered in his major league debut off him, and then homered on a pitch, a fastball away in the 4th inning. He hit one out to left field.
Going to be very careful here. Nothing good to hit. Now, problem with that is you can come out there with a great game plan and say, hey, listen, we want to be close, but, you know, don't give this guy anything good to hit. Jeremy Hellickson's command has not been that good. So he may very well want to throw a pitch off the plate or in the dirt.
And he starts him with a breaking ball, curveball low. You can see on that replay that pitch was away, but it caught more of the plate and was up a little more than Hellickson would like, and that enabled Kubel with his power to hit it out to the opposite field. 1-1. So Kadire, Holm, and Repko have all scored in this inning. And there's a shot toward right center field. Right there is Zobrist to make the catch. And that retires the side. It's a 3-run inning for Minnesota. 4-2 Twins. On Johnny Damon's base hit in the third inning, scoring Elliott Johnson. Home run in the fourth by Jason Kubel tied the game at 1. Rays grabbed the lead in the fourth, bottom half, on the 3-base hit by Sean Rodriguez, scoring Ben Zobrist. But in the fifth, the Twins put up 3. Kadire's double started it. Holm had a base hit. Repko's single homer run. A triple off the bat of Matt Tolbert contributed. The throwing error on the stolen base in the middle of all that, leading to 3. And Matt Joyce opens the bottom of the 5th inning, hitting for the first time in this game since taking over for Johnny Damon. The pitch is fouled. Damon had that base hit to drive in a run in the third, and in that at bat, he had a pitch that turned out to be a foul ball that hit his left hand. Joyce swings through a fastball in. Now, the Rays have pushed Brian Dunsing a little bit in each of the last 2 innings. He made 23 pitches in the third and 24 in the fourth. He's ahead of Joyce. Pitch is down. 1-2, and Matt Joyce 11 for his last 21, including 4 doubles and 3 runs batted in and a stolen base just for good measure.
Well rounded.
Down to third. It gets away from Valencia. Throw to first. It's still in time. Joyce is out at first base. First out here in the home half of the 5th. Let's check in with Todd for this medical update.
Yeah, we just found out from Johnny Damon in the Rays clubhouse, that left ring finger right where he got hit, guys, right at the top. The tip of his left ring finger is bruised, and he's going to be day-to-day. Back to you.
Well, a day-to-day situation with the bruise on the left ring finger.
You can live with that.
Yep. Better than what it could have been.
Oh, yeah.
Soft strike to Upton on a breaking pitch. BJ had a base hit in the third, 1 for 2. He's down on the count, 2 strikes now. So the second time the Rays have seen Dunsing as a starter. 5th time overall. And that pitch stayed wide. An attempted a curveball that didn't bite much. 1-2. He's in the mid-70s in pitch count now. Swing and a miss. Fastball up out of the strike zone perhaps. And Upton is the second out.
Well, he saw earlier in the at-bat that he went up above the zone and saw Upton go after it. He was able to foul it off and get a piece, so he thought, hey, listen, I got the count in my favor. He's already shown me that he'll swing at it. Maybe I take it up just a little bit higher this time. He does, and BJ can't foul it off. That's smart pitching.
It's Felipe Lopez. There's a base hit the other way. Taking the fastball into right field. Lopez, who had struck out a couple times, didn't waste any time and jumped on that first pitch fastball.
Well, that's why as a pitcher, when you go fastball away from a hitter, you want it down and away, because if it's just away, you give them the opportunity to do just what Lopez did. Just stick the bat out and poke that ball out into right field. If it's down, that's a ground ball to second base, and this inning's over.
Now Kelly Shopick. Shopick gets struck out and grounded out to third. 1 ball, no strikes. We'd love to see the Rays continue to work Dunsing, build up that pitch count. Good job in the 3rd and 4th innings. But as we mentioned earlier, he's a good low pitch count per inning guy.
And you get into a Minnesota bullpen that the morale is down right now. Had a couple opportunities to close out games in this series. They've come up empty.
Shopick swings through it, and the count is 2-1. Rays have taken the first 3. They've won 5 in a row after taking 2 from Boston at Fenway. And that's a strike to square the count. A little piece of it to stay alive. Runs, 5 hits for Minnesota. No Minnesota errors. The Rays 2-7-1. Rays with a run in the 3rd, a run in the 4th. Minnesota 1 run in the 4th and 3 in the top of the 5th. Two. Fly ball lifted into right field. Kubel going back. That's got some carry. Oh, he makes the catch. Kubel about a step and a half in front of the wall, reaching up to make that grab, because that ball started to carry on him, but he stayed with it to make the catch and to retire the side. 4-2 Minnesota. 2, we head to the top half of the 6th inning. Rays made a bid on this shot by Shopik, and Kubel got back to make the catch. Well, he's hitting home runs and making great defensive plays.
And Brian Dunsing loving that catch. That ball, Kelly Shopik, was a changeup that was up, and Shopik kind of lifted, pushed that ball out there. Caught everybody by surprise. It just kept carrying, and Kubel needed every inch of that outfielder's glove to make that catch.
As we move into the 6th, Jim Thome, the DH, leads it off. And the pitch is a ball. Thome has struck out and grounded out to first. Hellickson struck him out with a changeup in the 1st inning. 2-0. Quickly, Hellickson is behind, missing with his first 3 pitches, 3-0. Broken bat. The fly ball into right. The barrel into the bat went past Dan Johnson at first into the outfield. As Thome is out of there. What away.
Well, Jim Thome getting a little long in the swing there. He's got the count in his favor, 3-0. Of course, with his power, he's got the green light. And Jeremy Hellickson comes in with a nice pitch in a great spot. And you see the swing get a little bit long. That ball right off the trademark, and look at that bat head. Wow, get out of the way. Almost went as far as fly ball.
Now Delman Young, he shoots it back into center. Pretty well hit on the run is BJ, and it's over his head. BJ plays the carom, and Young's on his way to second with a double. His first hit of the day.
Well, that's not easy to do. Get one over BJ's head. You got to hit it hard and on the line. That's what happened here. Breaking ball. Trying to work its way down and away. It stays middle of the plate. Watch BJ get on his horse here. Measure that up. Then he goes. Can't get that.
Well, 4 of the 6 hits allowed by Hellickson have been for extra bases. A home run, 2 doubles, and a triple. Now Michael Kadire. And a first pitch fastball for a strike.
See, even that's a strike. He had in the count 0-1. Kelly Shopik wanted that ball in. That came right back across middle, thigh high. I mean, that's what we're talking about. I mean, you have strikes, and you have quality strikes, and Jeremy Hellickson has not been putting out too many quality strikes today. Fortunate Minnesota has just 4 runs and still in this game.
Ground ball headed toward the middle. Johnson from shortstop moving to his left makes a nice play. Elliott Johnson to Dan Johnson. Kadire's out. Young advances to third.
A pretty successful company with that name, Johnson and Johnson.
It's a good combination, and it's time to look at the upcoming race schedule. Brought to you by Just for Men Hair Color. White Sox come in tomorrow night to open a 4-game series here, and then the Rays hit the road, moving to Toronto and Minnesota. Just as we look forward to the upcoming race schedule, you can live forward with Just for Men Hair Color. It'll be David Price against Edwin Jackson tomorrow. Breaking ball to Valencia is in there for a strike. So that's a great one to see. First pitch set for 6:40. Price and Jackson. It's a ball and a strike. Hellickson got Valencia to pop to third on a breaking ball his last time up. 2 balls and a strike.
Jeremy being very careful in there with Valencia. Black or miss in. Aggressive young hitter. You got a chance now here to come back with the changeup and get out of this inning.
And it sweeps wide. Curveball. 3-1. Rays trail by 2. We're in the top half of inning 6. Delman Young at third. 3-1 to Valencia. And a strike on the outside edge.
Danny Valencia looking to drive something there. Looking for the ball middle of the plate, close to him. Jeremy's able to spot it up on the outside corner. Get right back in it.
3-2, and he just missed wide. Shot that corner again with a fastball and missed outside.
I mean, if he missed this is just off. Better location even. It was down from the previous pitch. Just off the plate.
Shopnick tried to help him, but it was a ball, says Jeff Kellogg, and it's first and third, 2 gone. Steve Holm, the catcher, singled in the 3-run 5th inning and scored a run. Curveball. He takes it for a strike.
See, that's what allows Jeremy Hellickson, even on a night where he doesn't have the best command that you've seen from him, those off-speed pitches have bought him time. The curveball that he started to bring out here more recently, the changeup early in the game. That's what allows him to get into the 6th inning without being very sharp.
One ball, 1 strike. Hellickson starting to push the 90 pitch mark. 2 outs into the 6th. Ground ball to third. Down to second. Lopez to Rodriguez for the force. They do not score, leaving 2. Bottom of the 6th coming. 4-2 Minnesota.
I'm going to bring you our Auto Text poll question of the day, and it revolves around the Rays and an early season surprise. And here's the question. Of these choices, what do you think has been the biggest surprise? Which development? The play of that guy, Sam Fold, TB1, the solid bullpen, TB2, or the fact that Johnny Damon's been so clutch and filling that role primarily in the designated hitter slot. Text your vote to 789-789, standard message and data rates apply. Gentlemen.
All right, Todd, thank you very much. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Rays have 7 hits. They've drawn a couple walks. They've scored 2 runs, and they've left 6. Ben Zobrist takes a strike to start the bottom half of the inning. Zobrist, Rodriguez, and Johnson. Johnson stepping back as Zobrist gets time. Rays coming into this game hitting .221 as a team and .263 against left-handed pitching. 1-1. Dunsing, who can be very efficient with his pitches, is in the mid-80s. 1-2. And Zobrist out in front. Zobrist connecting for a home run in the 9th inning of yesterday's game. That tied it in the bottom of the 9th.
You know what was shocking about that, too, that home run by Ben, is Joe Nathan, who comes in to leadoff hitter. He falls behind him 1-0. We all know Ben Zobrist is a tremendous fastball hitter. And Joe Nathan, behind in the count 1-0, elects to go fastball in to Ben Zobrist, where there's very little margin for error and you're down in the count. I mean, when I saw the catcher slide in there, I thought to myself, we may have a tie game here.
Well, here's Zobrist hitting a high fly ball down the left field line, twisting out of play. Still 1-2. Well, you were right.
Yeah, and that's what I thought. I mean, I thought, listen, you're only sliding in there because you're throwing a fastball. I didn't see the sign, but you see the catcher slide in, and you're thinking, why would you throw Ben Zobrist a 1-0 fastball in? Because if you miss in off the plate, okay, now it's 2-0. If you hit your spot, maybe nothing bad happens. But if it leaks just a little bit out over the plate, that's Ben's juice zone. So why would you go there down in the count where he's looking to drive something middle in? I think that was just wasn't smart pitch selection, and it cost him.
2-2 the count. Full count to Ben. Ron Gardenhire, the skipper of this Minnesota club. And fouls another one. So he's extending this at bat. Little roller handled by Casilla, and the throw to first, and Ben is out of there. Oh, the Rays are hitting here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And here's the scoring breakout in the first 6. They're 28th in the major leagues with 27, but you get to the 7th, things start to happen. They're 4th in the major leagues beyond the 7th inning, and most in the major leagues with 15 9th inning runs.
Rays do their best work late at night.
John Rodriguez takes the pitch low. Well, let's hope that late in this game on a Sunday afternoon will be late enough. Pitch is high, 2-0. Popper toward the right field line. Kubel and Tolbert makes a fine catch, angling all the way out from second base. That's a good play.
It is. Matt Tolbert can run a little bit. He gets on his high horse. That's not an easy play to make, Dwayne, over the shoulder like that. Got to find the right fielder. Look at those eyes. They never leave the baseball.
Well, these Twins, not only have we seen a couple of outstanding plays, but they make, for the most part, all the routine plays. In fact, since the turn of the century, they have been, in the American League, the best team when it comes to fewest errors since 2001. No team has made fewer errors than the Minnesota Twins in the American League. 1-0 the count to Dan Johnson.
That's why it was so shocking. I know it's early in the season. When they came into this series, the defense was not where manager Ron Gardenhire wanted it.
High pop-up, foul. Under it is home, the catcher. Dan Johnson out of there to retire the side. We go to the 7th, 4-2 Minnesota.
Well, Rays fans, you can't fight this feeling. And apparently I can't get away from this read. But you don't want to miss REO Speedwagon in the Rays Summer Concert Series presented by Hess Express on Saturday, April the 30th after the Rays host the Angels. Visit RaysBaseball.com for more information on the concert series and Rays Saturday nights presented by Bright House Sports Network.
We're going to have to redecorate the booth here for those concert nights, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
That'd be cool.
Uh-huh. Disco ball.
Here's Repko going after the first pitch. Skying it to deep center. BJ on the track. Deep enough so that BJ started to feel for the wall out
see
there.
That, yeah.
Made the catch before he got to the wall, one away.
Well, it's so important for outfielders here in the dome to not take their eye off the ball if they can help it. So you see BJ right there sticking the hand out. Instead of looking for that wall, feel for it first. Doesn't need it.
So a long out to start the 7th. There's a strike to Tolbert. Hellickson at 91 pitches right now. One out into the 7th. Pitch down. 1-1. Jake McGee up in the bullpen. You know, with these pitchers, Dunsing has 96 and Hellickson a little over 90. And of course, that 100 pitch mark seems to be a magic number these days. We were talking the other day about all of the innings that pitchers, 20 years ago or so, 300 inning seasons, 1980, the last time that happened, Steve Carlton. But big innings and a lot of complete games, pitching deep into games. And, Bert Blyleven made a point that we were talking about that with him. 100 pitches. He said he wishes that the pitch count had been established at 120 pitches.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, at least on an individual basis, if you've made 100 pitches or 105, what's 10 more pitches at that point? Ground ball to first, and Johnson with a toss to Hellickson. 2 gone. Because he thinks that a lot of these pitchers get to 90 or 95 pitches and they start thinking about, well, my day's about done.
Yeah. Oh, no question.
Sandy Koufax once said that, you know, the first thing they say about pitchers that go, he said, it's not the legs, it's not the arm. He said, it's the mind. And when that mindset begins to think about not going the distance, was his point. Koufax said that that was the beginning of the demise of a starting pitcher, when he's not thinking about going the distance to start a game.
No, and you see these guys, it's been so ingrained that they know they're coming out at 100 pitches or right around that. So, yeah, I mean, you start to realize your day's about to come to an end. And
Casilla pops it up, 1-0. Elliott Johnson, and now Matt Joyce coming in from left. 1-2-3, 7th inning stretch time at the park, 4-2 Minnesota. This afternoon, wrap up game of the series against the Minnesota Twins. The Rays have won 5 in a row, 6 out of their last 8. They're looking for a 4-game sweep of the Twins, and they're down by 2 runs right now as they come into the bottom of the 7th inning. 2 of the more interesting managers in the game going at it, Joe Madden and Ron Gardenhire. Brian Dunsing, through 6 innings, has made 96 pitches, and the Twins get their bullpen up. Just what we were talking about.
There we go. It's that time. Although Brian Dunsing has done a nice job in his limited number of starts of pitching deep into the game. When he got moved into the rotation last year over the course of his 13 starts, he averaged almost 7 innings per start. And pretty impressive from a guy who was coming off of all those relief appearances, 40 of them.
Well, Perkins is the lefty, Burnett the right-hander. Elliott Johnson. And ball 1. Johnson's been on twice. He has doubled and walked. See if he can get something started for the Rays in the home half of the 7th. It's going to be out of play. It's 1-1. The Rays have 4 4-game sweeps at home and 4 on the road. They have swept the Twins before, but they need some runs. 2-1 the count. And the fly ball back into right. That's deep. Kubel back, and he makes another catch. This one in front of the wall. Kubel, who made a fine catch on the ball hit by Shopik to end the 5th, got back there to make this catch right in front of the wall, about a step away. That shot off the bat of Elliott Johnson.
Elliott Johnson gave it a nice shot to right, but Kubel getting used to that wall. He gets back there a little better this time. Not as dramatic as the catch off Shopik, but first out nonetheless.
Sam Fold. He shows bunt, takes the pitch for a strike. And Valencia at third, in on the turf. White Sox come in tomorrow. David Price and Edwin Jackson the matchup. They'll be here through Thursday night. Another 4-game series on the 8-game homestand for the Rays. It's a 6:40 first pitch. Going away all of the games in the White Sox series beginning at 6:40. Give you a chance to get out to the ballpark early and get home early. We don't like to keep those late nights either. The pitch is high. 2-1.
Got things to do.
Although it's hard for me to check on you because I'm usually asleep by the time you get home. 2-1, fly ball into left. Bowman Young is right there. 2 gone. Not that anybody would be checking on you anyway.
Well, that's a good thing.
Well, let's see what Matt Joyce can do against the left-hander. Man, a late entry into this game. Johnny Damon originally in the number 2 spot. He suffered a bruise on the tip of his ring finger. He did stick around long enough to get a base hit and drive in a run. Joyce grounded to third in his only plate appearance to this point. It's 1-1 now. A ball, 2 strikes. Two and two. And a foul ball right at the feet of the catcher, holding the count even.
Well, Dunsing hasn't thrown many sliders. A couple here to Joyce. He's able to reach out and spoil that one. Is Brian Dunsing. I don't know if Gardenhire knows this, but he's at 109 pitches right now.
Yeah, what's going on?
It's a few too many.
11 may have stolen their pitch counter. 2-2 now. And it's all the way out to 3 balls, 2 strikes. Upton would be next if Joyce could work his way aboard. And he chops it to first. Kadire, Dunsing covers. The Rays are up and down 1, 2, 3, 7 in a row retired by Dunsing. 4-2 Minnesota. Rays baseball brought to you by your local Southern Ford dealers. By Tires Plus. Thinking tires, think Tires Plus. And by Hyundai. It's time to join the movement. Beautiful day in Tampa Bay. Ball game heads into the 8th inning. Minnesota leading the Rays. It's 4-2. Jake McGee is the new pitcher for the Rays, on to face Jason Kubel, the left-handed hitting outfielder. Jim Thome next. The pitch is fouled back. Kubel swinging at that first pitch fastball.
You know that's what you're going to get from Jake McGee. He comes right out of the bullpen. That's his primary pitch.
It's fouled back. That one in the mid-90s, 0-2.
You know, that's why we've talked about Jake McGee in the early part of the season coming in and being a little inconsistent with the fastball and wondering if he's pumping it, letting it fly every time he goes out there. The reason it's so important for him is because everybody knows that's his pitch, his fastball. His slider is developing. It's not a true out pitch at this point. So with that being known, with that being said, your one weapon that you have, you better maximize it when you go out there, because you've got a pitch that you're working on at the big league level, and really he's a two-pitch pitcher. That one had better be extraordinary.
And the fastball at 97, and
that's it.
Was up there taking a rip.
Oh, yeah.
Down 1-2 and fouled it right back.
But you know what? The 97, foul it back. 92, he may hit out of the yard. You've got a chance with the extra velocity.
It's high. 2-2.
You see, that's the slider. That's not, you're looking for a little bit more downward break, some consistency from that pitch. That's a pitch that Jake McGee is working on, continuing to work on. It's just not quite there yet.
And a high fly ball, right field, maybe higher than it is deep. One away.
Well, be a part of all the fun and excitement of Rays baseball this season with your family, friends, and coworkers. 2011 group party areas and suites are available now, so you can reserve your exclusive area today by calling 888-FAN-RAYS or by visiting RaysBaseball.com.
Here's Jim Thome. McGee in to face Kubel, and Thome Slider low and away. Russell, the big right-hander, loosening in the Rays bullpen. One ball, one strike.
Well, you like this from Jake McGee coming out there, the back-to-back lefties with all the power, and he's the one right now supplying the big fastball.
And another cut, a little piece of that one on a mid-90s fastball, 1-2.
See the four-seam grip. That ball just explodes in there. Tommy just a little underneath it.
Adam Russell in the bullpen. Ooh, close off the plate in.
Well, he's tied him up in there a couple of times, so hey, why not take another shot? This one just off. With this right now, where when Jake McGee finally gets that slider where he wants it, this is a perfect spot for it. It'd be so much easier for him to get the punch out.
And he misses with the fastball. So it's a full count. Three-two to Tomey. And he looks a high pop-up. Who's going to get it? That drops. Elliott Russell trying to come in for it. Lopez over on the left side with that shift. And the ball fell in between, actually, Lopez and Johnson. And that's going to be a big pop-up of a base hit. The shift made that a difficult play. It was so high.
Well, that ball got up into those rings, too. I don't think it hit anything, but it got up there in. And it's tough. If you don't watch the ball the whole way, it's easily lost in this roof. And that ball went up and got all into the...
Well, that was difficult to track. And even if you don't have to track it against the rigging and the roof, it's a difficult play for Russell to come all the way in. And he wound up overrunning it just a bit as that ball fell off just a bit to his right and a little bit behind him.
Well, you see the color of the roof and the rubbed up baseball. It's already tough to see the difference. And then you got the ball is coming up into this region, getting up in all this garbage. You lose sight of it. You're on the run anyway. And it's tough to pick it back up. And you saw that it, I mean, fell right in the middle of the infield. You got a lot of guys in there.
So now Tomey's lifted. Luke Hughes is the pinch runner. Delman Young at the plate. McGee in there to face him now. Pitch inside, 1-0. Hughes running for Tomey. First, and Hughes back in. So Tomey gets a base hit for that major league pop-up and then some. Hughes back in at first. Foul the other way. Really on that big pop-up by Tomey. Lopez would have had the best shot because of his proximity to it. Elliott Johnson had to come a long way from the shift. But it was so high that it was difficult to track up there.
Well, that's it. You look sight of it. It gets into all the beams and stairs, rings.
The pop fly ball into right center, not too deep for Zobrist. 2 outs with Hughes still at first, and Joe Madden comes out to make a pitching change here in the 8th. Rays down by 2. Make a pitching change. Jim Thome got that base hit. You know, that's reminiscent of last year in a game in August, early August against the Twins here.
Jason Kubel hits one up into the ring. It gets caught up in this general region, bounces around a little bit. Everybody loses sight of it, and you see it fall down right into the middle of the infield. Nobody close to it. That cost the Rays the game.
Russell is the new pitcher. On to face Kadire. He chops it to third. Lopez comes up with it. The throw to first. So no harm done by the base hit by Thome. The man left on base. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 4-2 Minnesota.
The 8th inning, a reminder that after our Rays Live post-game show tonight, we will have the premiere of Inside the Rays featuring Johnny Damon. We'll hear from a lot of his teammates from Dr. Phillips High School and track the path that sent him from Orlando to the major leagues. In case you're just joining us, Johnny Damon left today's game with a bruised left ring finger after being hit in a bunt attempt by a pitch. And Johnny will have to turn things over to somebody else looking for the big hit today, as Johnny seems to have had the big RBI during this Rays 5-game winning streak. Today in our Rays Live postgame show, before the Inside the Rays show, we will hear from Joe Madden. We'll have interviews from the clubhouse with Angela Jacobs. And as always, Dwayne and B.A. break down today's game. Back to you, Dwayne.
All right, Todd, thank you. Well, the Rays looking for some late inning heroics again here this afternoon. They're down 4-2. They face Glenn Perkins, a new pitcher for the Twins. B.J. Upton, the first man to face him. Bounces it foul for a strike. Dunsing, the starting pitcher, made 111 pitches, a career high for him, as Perkins is on for the 7th time.
Perkins has been very good out of that bullpen for manager Ron Gardenhire. You see, no record but no ERA. Giving up just 3 hits.
Counts 1-1. Throws it by B.J. Upton. I got a little giddy up on it. That fastball from Perkins.
Well, that ball jumped out of his hands. And, you know, B.J. Upton in his last at-bat struck out on a fastball up above the strike zone. So the Twins continue to go to that spot. See, take another shot.
Takes that one up. It was up out of the strike zone. And that last strikeout was up out of the strike zone that he chased. 2-2 now. Perkins misses up and away. The count is full.
Well, they definitely feel like they have found a weakness that they can exploit. They've gone back to it again and again in this at-bat. Got to throw a strike here, though.
And he misses. He walks him. So he stayed with the fastball, missing up and away on those last 2. And the Rays have a base runner to start the 8th.
Well, as a pitcher there, you know, you could take a couple of shots above the zone, try to get him to chase, but after that, you've got to make a quality strike pitch. And BJ got a good look at a couple of those, kind of honed in his strike zone, and if you're going to throw it there again, he's going to take it again and get on base.
Well, Felipe Lopez.
You get the feeling the Rays have the Twins right where they want them.
Yeah, well, they have recently at this time of the game. The pitch down and in. A ball and no strikes. Perkins out of the University of Minnesota. Lopez 2 out of 4 lifetime against him. And the pitch is down. So after getting ahead of Upton, he lost him and now is behind Lopez 4-0. Rick Anderson's going to march to the mound. He's the pitching coach. They get another lefty, Dusty Hughes, starting to throw in the bullpen now for Minnesota. Don't miss another minute of the action only at the ballpark. You can get the best seats, biggest savings, and all the fantastic benefits by becoming a Rays season ticket holder. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com. Yeah, the Twins are starting to think about what's happened in this series already. With Upton at first and a 2-0 count on Lopez. Jeff Kellogg out to move the get-together along. Anderson taking a lot of time, giving Hughes a little extra time in the bullpen.
Well, he doesn't like what he's seeing right now out of Glenn Perkins. He's been so good to start this season. He came out there, lost BJ. Now, granted, a couple of those fastballs were up out of the zone on purpose, but then he misses up there. Now he's trying to make the adjustment, and the first 2 pitches to Lopez down close to the dirt, down way below the zone. So just not finding that happy medium yet.
And a liner into left. Will that stay up? Young makes the rolling catch out there for the out. It stayed up long enough for Young to get into the vicinity. catch it and then take a tumble. One away.
Felipe Lopez hits a soft liner out there, and see how close that was. Delman Young able to come up with it.
That's the first out. Here's Kelly Shopping. Shopping 1 for 4 lifetime with a couple strikeouts against the left-hander Perkins. There goes BJ and a ground ball. Going to go through the open right side. Upton will go to third. Well, the Rays couldn't have worked that one out better. With Upton on the move and the second baseman Tolbert breaking to cover the bag, Shopping sent it right through the open side of the infield.
Well, the Rays worked this a couple of times yesterday. This is perfect. BJ going, opens up the right side. Kelly Shopping right off the end of the bat. See Tolbert going to cover. All you're trying to do is hit the ball on the ground and get a pitch away, push it over that way. Easy base hit and gets BJ all the way to third base.
Well, John Jaso is going to run for Shopping at first. So catcher running for the catcher. The Rays pick up a little speed there, putting Jaso in.
And a smart base run.
Now Ben Zobrist. The ball popping in and out of the mitt of home, but no chance to advance. 1-0 the count. Farnsworth is up in the Rays bullpen now. We're in the bottom of the 8th. The Rays down 4-2. There's Farnsworth. And Zobrist is up in the count. 2-0. Ground ball headed to short. Casilla, second base 1, first base 2. A 6-4-3 double play started by Casilla to retire the side. No runs a hit. The Rays leave 1. And at the end of 8, it's still 4-2 Minnesota. to you by AutoWay, part of Auto Nation, the largest automotive retailer in the country. So we can do big things. By Checkers, feast on. Tampa Bay Radiation Oncology. When cancer strikes, strike back with CyberKnife and Tampa Bay Radiation Oncology. And by Hyundai, it's time to join the movement. We go to the ninth inning. Adam Russell on the hill and a wave and a miss by Danny Valencia, strike one. John Jaso now catching after pinch running. Up and in a bit. That moves him back. 1-1 strike. Fastball. Russell came on to get the final out in the eighth. Let's let the hitter know that you're out there.
Ball running up and in.
And a line drive and a backhanded grab by Sean Rodriguez. Sean, a backhanded grab of that one, headed up the middle. How about that?
That was one of the better catches I've ever seen. That was a rocket shot, and he caught it behind him. A backhand that he caught going back towards the outfield. What a tremendous catch. That ball had some hair on it.
Here it is, full speed again. What a catch by Sean Rodriguez. The catcher, Holm, takes a strike. Well, that's the kind of defense that really makes your pitching better.
Yeah, they take sure base hits away.
And grabbing the stands on that foul ball back at the dugout.
I'll tell you what, and the more reps that Sean Rodriguez gets out there at second base, the better he's going to get. I mean, he is already a very good second baseman defensively.
Way high, 1-2 strikes.
But you can see the more time he spends out there, he just gets better and better and better.
There's nothing that helps a player more than playing every day.
Yeah. Get into a good rhythm, good throwing arm, good range.
And the line drive headed for the corner and left. Joyce will play the carom. Holm is on his way to second with a double, so he singled and scored a run in their big 3-run fifth, and now he has a double with one out in the ninth inning. Holm just called up from the minor leagues, replacing Joe Mauer on their active roster. Mauer on the DL. So Holm has certainly contributed today. There's Repko. Pitch is down. Repko's made a nice catch. He's thrown out a runner, had a base hit, stole a base, drove in a run, scored a run. One and one to count. Fly ball short center. That's going to fall in front of Upton. Holm will have to stop. So it's first and third.
Jason Repko hits this ball out to center field. He takes the big swing but doesn't make the solid contact, and I think that fooled BJ Upton a little bit. Watch the jump. He sees it right after him, starts one step back, and that's all it takes. That ball dropping right in front of him. You know, those outfielders will tell you, especially out in center, the ball hit right at you is the hardest one to judge, and that ball came off the bat. I think BJ thought that he hit it better than he actually did, and it drops in.
Joe Madden's out to make a pitching change. He wants a lefty. Back after this. led this game since the 5th inning. Rays opening a series against the White Sox tomorrow. It'll be David Price against Edwin Jackson. We'll be with you at 6 o'clock on Sun Sports, Fox Sports Florida in the Tampa Bay area for the opening game of the series against the White Sox. They've had some bullpen issues, the White Sox, and Ozzie Guillen's not happy about that. So we'll see. Cesar Ramos, the new pitcher for the Tampa Bay Rays here. The Minnesota Twins with runners at first and third and one out. Ramos misses with a breaking ball to Tolbert. Pitch block, jumps away from Jaso, and alertly Repko moves into second. Repko continues to be impressive in this game. He got a quick jump right there.
Yeah, he's done just about everything, and now a ball in the dirt. Good baseball instincts. You see it down in the dirt. In the dirt you go. And that ball gets away from Jaso. That makes the problem even worse. And he's gone. Good
Wild
jump.
pitch.
Yeah. Apparently he's flying the plane out of here too.
Yeah. Infield is in. Pitch is fouled back. It's 2-1.
Made breakfast for the team this morning.
Yep.
Full day.
And it was delicious, we hear. Repko second, home at third. One out, 2-1 the count to Tolbert. This turns the switch hitter around. The bat right-handed here, of course, against Ramos, who falls behind 3-1. They have a couple of switch hitters back-to-back, and Tolbert and Casilla. Rays trying to hold the Twins right where they are to have a shot in the bottom of the ninth. That's Andy Sonnenstein working in the bullpen. Rays have won 5 straight. 6 of their last 8. Ground ball, second base. Rodriguez has it, and the throw to first. Well, with the infield end, Sean was there in on the turf, and the runners hold at second and third. Now it will be the shortstop, Alexi Casilla.
Ground ball, didn't have to move far. Let the runner back, make the throw.
Casilla 0 for 4. He's retired in the 5th inning with the infield end. He had a hot shot down to Dan Johnson at first. A breaking ball drops in, a curveball for a strike.
We've seen Cesar Ramos has a good curveball. That ball looked like it came out of his hand funny. It was going to be a fastball up and away, and you saw that late break, and it's a big break.
Tap foul. 0-2. Hellickson started, worked 7 innings, made 97 pitches. McGee, Russell, and Ramos have followed. Down and in. Blocked by Jaso.
Not an easy block either. That ball got down into the dirt quick, so it had longer to travel. It wasn't a pitch you could just smother. You see where this ball hits. It's a pretty big bounce right there, and Jaso, a nice job of cupping that ball right up against his chest protector and keeping it right in front.
Swing and a miss. Casilla chased it. A fastball that ran away. Bottom of the ninth coming. Rodriguez, Johnson, and Johnson. Rays need 2 to keep it going. But 4-2 as we go into the bottom of the ninth inning, and the Rays need some runs. They've scored 15 runs in the ninth inning this year, and that leads the major leagues. So they're going to try to continue that magic, and they'll have to do it against the right-hander Matt Capps, who has been designated now as the closer for the Minnesota Twins. The Rays will have Sean Rodriguez to lead off the bottom of the ninth against Capps.
Well, the Rays have gotten to Capps the last couple ball games, or 2 times in this series.
Johnny Damon got him for the 2-run walk-off home run. Here's Rodriguez swinging through the first fastball, strike 1.
You know, Matt Capps has got a good fastball. He'll low to mid-90s, but he's got that short arm action. Relies on using that for deception. Jump that ball right on top of you quick.
Strike the count. Rays have been out hit 9-8 today. They need a base runner. And a fly ball will be off the end of the bat to short left. And Rodriguez is out. The ball caught by Delman Young. There's that ninth inning run production stack up. 15 for the Rays, St. Louis with 12. And the Rays now down to their final 2 outs. Dan Johnson. He takes the pitch for a strike on the inside part of the plate.
The Rays just need to work, get a base runner, give yourself a chance.
There's a strike to Johnson, and he's behind. 0-2. Rays took the lead in the third. Their other run came in the fourth. That's been it. And that one hit him. Dan Johnson hit by the pitch. And Capps wants to protest that decision by Jeff Kellogg. But Dan goes to first. Here's another look.
You see the fastball riding in here. 0-2 in the count. Catches him right on the forearm, the wrist area. You let him off the hook.
Yeah, down 0-2. The Rays gladly take that base runner. And Elliott Johnson will be the hitter. Elliott with a double and a walk. He sent Kubel to the track with a deep fly ball in the 7th inning back into right field. Looks at a fastball low. 1 ball, no strikes. Little tap. Camps looks to second, but he'll go to first for the shore out there. 2 gone. Well, 2 outs with a runner at second. Sam Fold will be the hitter for the Rays.
Well, if he wants the statue put out in front of Tropicana Field, he's going to have to go yard here.
Well, he's capable.
He's
demonstrated that.
Yes. At least get a base hit. Pull within 1.
Fold singled in the first, singled in the third. Was thrown out trying to go to third on a base hit. 2 for 4. Swings and sends a fly ball into left. Young backs up, makes the catch, and this game is over. The Rays drop the final game of this 4-game series to the Minnesota Twins. It's a 4-2 final. So the Rays settled for winning the series, taking 3 out of 4 from the Minnesota Twins. And the Twins win the final game of this series 4-2. Dunsing the winner. Helix and the loser. Caps a save. Took 2 hours and 51 minutes to play it. And the homestand continues tomorrow night with the Chicago White Sox coming in the first of 4. We'll be with you at 6 o'clock. Rays Live, the postgame comes next. For Brian Anderson and Todd Callis, Dwayne Stats. Hope you've enjoyed the telecast, if not the outcome. Again, the final, Minnesota 4, the Rays 2. See you next on the